Alright guys, I want to talk about the whole Chip Kelly firing aftermath thing, and then I want to go into the Eagles-Giants Week 17 preview. I mean, it's a meaningless game, but I'll preview it anyway here for you. I gotta admit, I am still actually shocked that Chip Kelly got fired. A lot of you are saying, like, well, you wanted him fired all year, you said it a number of times, and you thought he did stuff warranted to be fired. So why am I shocked? I'm shocked from the fact that Jeff Lurie actually went through and did it. For Jeffrey Lurie to have to make this decision is a decision that makes Jeff himself look dumb, and I'll get to that in a second. But for him to come to that conclusion, for Jeff to come to that conclusion, to actually have to fire him, and when it happened, speaks volumes of this having to be something that had to be done. That there was something more behind the scenes, more than Chip Kelly calling shotgun on damn near every play, or, you know, trading away cutting Deshaun Jackson, trading away LaShawn McCoy, cutting Evan Mathis before training camp, and like all those other things that brought criticism on, like, why did you do those things? Your team is worse because of those things that you did. You didn't need to do them. And the whole building of culture here, and the smoothies, and all that other shit that he's been criticized for. And that he's losing the locker room because he's bringing a college program to a pro level, and pro players supposedly aren't buying into it. All that aside, I didn't think that was enough for Jeff Lurie to fire him, nor do I think that is what ended up causing Jeff to fire him. If Jeff was not impressed with what Chip has been doing all year, all the trades, the embarrassment that was the Washington Redskins game at the length, that final Week 16 game, that final home game, if Jeff Lurie was embarrassed with all that collected, Chip would have been fired Sunday or Monday, not Tuesday after a meeting. Whatever went on that closed-door meeting between Chip and Jeff is what ultimately got Chip fired. Now, everything else that bubbled up underneath of it, like, you know, trading LaShawn McCoy and cutting Deshaun Jackson, all that other stuff played into it. But I can tell you what else played into it. The fact that Chip Kelly didn't get any friends behind the scenes here. Other than the guys that he brought in, you still had guys like Howie Roseman that were in Jeff Lurie's ear from the get-go. First of all, he's one of the people that was instrumental, Howie Roseman was, one of the people instrumental for getting Chip in here. So Howie's been an advisor to someone that's always had Jeff's ear in this whole process, both getting Chip here to Chip's whole tenure here on the team. And sure enough, Howie Roseman is going to be coming back in a pseudo-GM capacity. I know they say they're not hiring a GM. They're going to have, you know, a couple guys taking care of the day-to-day GM-type operations. But Howie Roseman is, you're kidding yourself if he isn't the front man of that group. And I got to say, that doesn't sit well with me. Because we've been there, done that with Howie Roseman here. He's been the GM here before. And I didn't like it. And frankly, he has done nothing to warrant him getting any sort of GM-type capacity spot back on this team. That's bringing a retread back. And another thing that I don't like about this firing, and while I am okay with it based on I don't see that the team was going anywhere with Chip ultimately, is that it sets up this precedent of failure. It's like we just got rid of Andy Reid 3 seasons ago. Now we're getting rid of this guy. If the next guy doesn't click right away, like let's say this next guy gets less than 6 wins right off the bat, which frankly is very possible, are we going to throw him out the door? Because that's where you start getting into the trend of you can't find a franchise quarterback and you can't find a franchise coach. That means you're the Philadelphia Browns. Like, that's what you end up being. A team that can't get someone to take balls under center and throw the ball downfield, and you can't get a coach to call the plays consistently over 2 seasons. Like, you get the Cleveland Browns syndrome, and I don't want to see Philadelphia turn into that. That's why this next person at coach, while I feel has a tall task because Chip Kelly has raided this team of insurmountable talent due to his dumbassery, this guy's got to be given time, unless he's a complete imbecile fool and does even a worse job with this team than Chip Kelly has. If that's possible. So that's what I'm fearful of, that no matter who this next coach is that's brought in, and I'm not counting the one-game tenure of Pat Shurmur here in Week 17. That doesn't count. Interim shit doesn't count in my book. Pat Shurmur's brought back next year, then that's a whole different, or next season, that's a whole different thing. I want to start seeing stability on this team, because I don't care how much you hated Andy Reid or Donovan McNabb, you knew you had a very potential playoff football team taking that field for almost an entire decade. For almost an entire decade. You had a team where you're like, there's a better chance than not that they're going to make the playoffs. Because you had McNabb taking the balls to throw downfield, and you had Andy Reid calling the plays on the sideline. And that's what I want to at least get back to that. Right now, I couldn't tell you with any sort of certainty who I think the coach is going to be next season, and I couldn't tell you with any sort of certainty who the quarterback is going to be next season. And I don't like that. I don't like that. And I don't like the fact that Howie Roseman is now going to be serving as a pseudo GM here for the team. Because we've been there, done that, and we've seen some of the drafts that Howie Roseman's been in charge of. It's the old fireman from Canada that we hired. How did he work out in the league? Anyway, everyone has bad draft picks regardless, but I have so much question going into next year that, you know, you got to wonder, do you just automatically give whoever's a coach here a pass, or do you have criticism on him? Because I tell you what, I'm going to still be criticizing key guys. Like if someone like Kiko Alonso comes out next season, and he still can't, tackle a dead coyote sitting in the middle of the field. If he can't tackle that and just whiffs and goes over him, and the coyote like spirits lifted up and carry him and the football into the end zone, I don't know what. I'm fucking ridiculous today. Holy shit. Anyway. Alright, anyways, the moral of the story is that a dead coyote can beat Kiko Alonso. Alright, moving along. I have no certainty going into next season, but at the same time, I have promise and hope, because we're not going to see the same failed shit that Chip Kelly was trying to do here, that was dividing a locker room, that wasn't fooling defenses in the league, that wasn't beating the better teams of the league. And that's the thing. You can quote me Chip Kelly's record all you want, how he had more wins than losses. He lost to the better coaches in the league, spare one time, when he beat Bill Belichick. If you want to count Week 2 against the Colts, where the Colts, dumbass their way into a loss on Monday Night Football. He beat Bill Belichick at Pittsburgh, Jesus Christ. At the Patriots' home in Foxborough, Massachusetts. Other than that, a win that is now just so clearly a fluke, because you had a blocked punt, a pick six, and a punt return for a touchdown. Unless you get a fluky set of circumstances like that, Chip Kelly ain't beating Bill Belichick or Tom Brady with a dilapidated team, might I add you. But, and not taking anything away from them, they won. But you gotta be kidding yourself if there isn't at least a faint asterisk on that win. I digress. Anyway, going into this game, and actually before I get into the game, like I said earlier on the video, I said there's something else I want to touch on as far as Jeff Lurie goes. Jeff Lurie is getting quite a big amount of a pass from the fans. He's getting a lot of heat for putting Howie Roseman back in a GM capacity. Like I said, pseudo GM, whatever you fuck you want to call Howie Roseman's position. He's getting a lot of heat for that, because the fans here ain't buying into that shit. It's like, no, we've seen Howie do his thing here. We don't need to see it again. It's not like he's warranted not having a job at all in this team. He'd be great in some sort of advisory position, or some sort of front office position, but making the day-to-day calls of who to hire, who to fire, and stuff like that, I don't know if you really want to see that retread again. But one thing Jeff Lurie's getting a pass on is, like, he's coming out as, like, the heroic savior that fired Chip. Now, like I said earlier in the video, what happened in that closed door meeting between Jeff and Chip is what really ultimately put the divide between the two. And the fact that Chip had no allies here spoke volumes that that Howie was in Jeff's ear and that he was being coached along by guys behind the scenes, because frankly, guys behind the scenes did not have Chip's back because Chip wasn't very personable. Chip was a football business first guy, didn't care if you were his friend or not. He was hired there to coach a football team, and that's what he did. He wasn't there to become friends with Jeff or Howie or anyone else. So, with that being said, the people that want someone more personable, like Jeffrey Lurie, like a Howie Roseman, like pretty much everyone else in the front office that wasn't associated to being hired or put in place by Chip Kelly himself, that meeting went down, and who knows? Who knows what was said there? But I can tell you, it was a lot more than a bad record this year or this team falling short of expectations that led to Chip Kelly getting fired. That shit was personal. What went on in that office is what ultimately got Chip fired. Because you can't tell me for a second that Jeff wanted to fire a guy that he just hired as a GM this season. Because that makes Jeff look like a complete imbecile in his judgment. The guy that Jeff Lurie just hired as a GM isn't even worth finishing a season. Gets fired on week 16. He's not even allowed. The GM you hired isn't even allowed to complete a full season of football. Like, I'm sorry, that makes Jeff's judgment look horrible. Horrible. And trust you me, people like Howie were in Jeff's ear before this. And I can tell you, Howie Roseman, who basically got shoved out of the door by Chip because he didn't want to split power with him, and that's why you saw that GM spot handed over to Chip. People like Howie were in his ear going into this season, going into Jeff's ear, saying, I don't know if you want to give him the GM job. And Jeff said, you know what? I think I do. Well, you know what, Jeff? Your judgment fucking sucked. And you deserve blame in this as well. And why Jeff Lurie is getting so much of a pass in this town? Because he's seen as the savior that saved us from the cancer that was Chip Kelly. Yeah, maybe he did do that. But he's also the one that gave him the ultimate power that fucked up this team even worse. And people are like oh, you're going to reap what you sow here, Philly. You don't want Chip Kelly here. You're going to have a bad season of football ahead. You're going to have a bad season of football ahead, no matter whether Chip Kelly is here or not. Because, like I said, that team is so stripped of talent, you can only do so much in free agency, and you can only do so much in the draft. You need 2 brand new guards on this team, possibly a tackle as well. You still need a deep threat wide receiver. I don't know what you're doing at running back. Are you going to extend Sproles? Are you going to keep Murray here and try him? Not do a hurry-up offense? There are so many things. What are you doing at inside linebacker? Because I tell you right now, Kiko Alonso and Jason Kendricks don't look like they're cutting the mustard at all. And you gotta wonder if they're looking like shit in training camp next year. You gotta wonder, like, damn, we can't go into the regular season with this. We saw how much they fell flat in the end of the 2015 season. So there's a lot of needs that need to be addressed. And yes, I know you're getting Jordan Hicks back. That's a solid, that's a solid addition and whatnot. That strengthens the linebacker core. D'Amico Ryans, you don't know if he's going to be here. You don't know if Jason Peters is going to be here. Even if Jason Peters is going to be here, you ain't getting full games out of him anymore. So, whether Chip was here or not, and the quarterback situation is a whole different thing of whether or not you think Bradford's here, they're going to get RG3, Kaepernick, go with someone else new in the draft. Do we even want a read option quarterback? Who knows? You're going to see a bad season here, in my prediction, no matter what. People are like, oh, you're probably just going to pick them, then win the NFC East. No. How can you pick this team with any sort of certainty? How? Anyway, it's just, again, I'm optimistically excited because I'm going to see the system go away that I did not like. I don't like seeing shotgun on 4th and inches. Like, I don't like seeing that. And, seeing that, knowing that that's going to happen, just to see that shotgun, fast-paced shit, just to hit the curb, goodbye. Good riddance. You won't be missed. Now, going on to what we're going to see, we get a first taste of that this week, this Sunday, in what was a completely meaningless game, turned into, I'm actually intrigued to see what happens. Because this is now an audition game, And I think you're going to start seeing a lot of guys like Najee Good line up at linebacker, and maybe see Kiko Alonso sitting a little bit of time on the bench, and seeing guys that are just mainly on like special teams and whatnot that play other positions on the field, you know, giving them a trial run, because you need to see what the potential is for guys that you haven't seen get a decent amount of snaps on the field outside of, you know, coming on for a special teams play or two, or, you know, someone like Marcus Smith coming in, like, you know, 3 snaps a game, shit like that. Not that I want to see any more Marcus Smith. That's it. You can go away. You can go away. Najee Good is... I'd rather see him at linebacker. Try him out than you. Anyway. And we saw how the Giants gave effort-wise in a meaningless game against the Vikings, and you got to wonder if they're going to go all out for Coughlin or not, because this could potentially be, and probably is going to be, Coughlin's last game as a coach of the New York Giants. And you got to wonder if Eli's going to go all out. ODB's going to be back on the field. And I hear people in Philly too saying, like, we have a chance to move up to the number 6 pick in the draft. If the Dolphins, Ravens, and Jaguars win, we're moving up to the number 6 pick in the draft. Who do the Ravens play? Cincinnati. Oh. Who do the Jaguars play? The Texans. Oh, okay, that's 2 playoff teams. All right, surely Miami probably has a cake game. They're probably going to lose. Who's Miami play? The Patriots. Oh. All right, now some of these teams may be resting starters or something based on whatever else is happening in the league, but I hear people saying, like, you know, the Eagles have a chance to move up to the number 6 pick. And because the Dallas has all the tiebreakers over the number 4s, they could potentially pick number 5 and finish with 2 less wins than the Eagles. Anyway, maybe it's not 6. I think it's 7 that the Eagles can top out. Anyways, it's either 6 or 7 the Eagles can move up in the draft, as long as they lose and the Jags, the Jags, the Dolphins, and the Ravens win their games. But so, you know, I'm going to be scoreboard watching for interest of that alone, because if the Eagles are getting their shit kicked in, I'm like, all right, well, let's hopefully move up in the draft. All right, go Ravens. Go Jaguars. Go Dolphins against the Patriots. Anyway, what I want to see out of this game is, are we going to see that fast-paced offense shit? Are we going to see that no-huddle shit all game? Because... And that's the thing, too. It's like, you know, you don't want to completely really sever from that, because that is going to throw the timing and everything off on this team, because you got a team where most of these guys, you know, 3 straight years, bang, 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 plays on offense. They're so tuned into that, like, you know, all of a sudden if you go, huddle up, talk the play, get to the line, set, blue 32, Omaha, oh wait, Eli and Peyton Manning doesn't play for this team. Anyways, hike. You know, if they start doing all that shit again, like, you know, you might see guys start jumping off sides, running routes wrong, and it just, you know, I'm kind of concerned that you might see a complete shit fest if they do a complete sever of strategy here. So I think Pat Shurmur's going to mix it up with, you know, a lot of fast tempo shit. Get Bradford lined up under center. Get rid of that shotgun shit on 99% of the plays. And let's see what DeMarco Murray can do. Let's see what DeMarco Murray can do running a style of football game that you saw in Dallas. If there's I don't care anything else that you show me in this game, whether it be someone like Najee Good getting some field time, I want to see DeMarco Murray run a style of football game that you saw in Dallas. Like, I know you need a really good offensive line to get exactly what you saw in Dallas, but I want to see him running north to south as much as possible to see if what his shortcomings were on Chip Kelly or not. But then again, I'm like, well, you know what? Are the Giants really going to be trying hard in this game? Is this like getting, you know, an overreaction out of a preseason game? So I'm like kind of mixed. Like, even if I do see someone like DeMarco Murray play really well, I'm going to be like, well, how hard were the Giants trying? How hard were they trying against the Vikings? So, you know, I'm kind of at a mix as to whether or not I'm going to feel excited either way coming out of this game. So, who do I predict is going to win? I'm going to go with the Giants in that they're at least not in a state of complete clusterfuck right now, which the Eagles are. The Giants are going to run the same style and tempo of game that they've been running all year. The Eagles probably aren't, and I just think that, you know, a team of professional football players that have been playing the same way all year should beat a team that is trying to readjust to get reoriented to a completely new system that they're going to be running in the future here on out. But it's going to be interesting nonetheless. I'm highly intrigued from a game that, frankly, you know, I wouldn't care if I just, you know, had it on my headphones and I'm like vacuuming the house while the game's on or something like that and doing chores. Like, I really wouldn't care. But now it's like, I actually want to sit there and watch this game because a lot of guys are going to be now making audition tapes for what the new coach is going to look at, because this is at least something that a coach can look at, compare and contrast, say, like, that is what that guy looked like in the Chip Kelly system. That is what the guy looked at like in the post-Chip Kelly system. And it might just be a small one-game sample, but it is something. Anyway, it's going to be interesting either way. Go Eagles. Fuck the Dallas Cowboys. That is all. Bye.